right, guys, hi. So now what I'm going to try and do is wrap this tree in my clay. I had to throw away the cat. It didn't work out so much. And that's okay, because sometimes best thing to do is just start over. Don't worry about it. Remember what I said. If something comes easy the first time you did it, chances are you didn't learn anything new. You were just practicing and refining other skills. So, without further ado, let's get our clay set up going here. The first thing you guys need to make sure you do is go ahead and put a piece of wax paper down. And you're gonna have to make sure that your name is on your project somewhere. So either on your plastic bag on a piece of tape or even on your wax paper. You can go ahead and use a Sharpie and write your name down there. And then the next thing you guys are gonna need to do is tape it down. And of course I just used all my tape, so now I have to go get some. You don't have to tape all the edges, just two. So either the two on the side or one on top and bottom will be fine. Okay. And then the next thing, of course, you're gonna need is some clay. Please just open one box of clay at a time. Do not have multiple boxes open. Remember, these are in the clay closet on the bottom shelf. And after you get your clay, make sure you put it back in the bag so the air doesn't dry it out. So, I have quite a bit of air dry clay, so we shouldn't run out, hopefully. This is a cutting tool. You just wrap it around the side and pull back. Now, please take just a little bit of clay at a time. You can always get more, because once it's exposed to the air, it already starts drying. And that makes it a little bit more difficult to work with. So I just took this and wiped it off, and now I'm going to put that extra little bit of clay in my slip. Again, these are also in the clay cabinet on the same shelf, or the same shelving unit above where the clay is at. And then you're gonna need some tools, or you could just use your hands, but we have tools, so might as well use them. I'm gonna go ahead and mix up this slip because it had already started to dry. If you grab a thing of slip and it's already all dried out, just add more water to it and mix it up, swish it around. All right. So this tool is good for smoothing. This is good for scoring. This loop tool is good for carving. And this is good for smoothing out some of your cracks as well. Now I'm going to show you guys something a little different. In that big yellow bucket in the clay closet, there's a bunch of slats. And what you can do with these slats is you can use them and a rolling pin to roll out your clay. I'm going to move that over because it's about to slip. I'm going to go ahead and press it down first. Now, the reason why you want to use the slats is to make sure that your clay is even. Otherwise, you might end up with a whole bunch on one side and a lot thinner on the other side. So you have two hands on your rolling pin, and you're just trying to push it out. And now I can see that my wax paper is tearing. Awesome sauce, but that's okay. No worries. Well, that's not good. If this happens, don't worry about it. You can always work directly on the tables themselves. You're just gonna have to clean up afterwards. All right, so I have a slab that's about an even thickness. You do not want your clay to be any thinner than this because otherwise it will crack as it's drying. I'm gonna move these away. Again, these are in the big yellow bucket. There's different thicknesses. Just make sure you get 2 of the same thickness. All right, now I'm gonna take my armature. Dun, 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 my beautiful tree. And I'm gonna work from the bottom up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that on there. And then using my hands, just kind of pinch it around. Now I can use my tool right here to go ahead and carve that out because I don't want that much around. So notice that I'm building from the bottom up. And right now I'm not going to worry about adding too much texture or anything like that because I know that it will be easier to add that once it's dried a little bit. You do want to make sure that you cover the bottom of your sculpture as well as the top, the part that you can see. Again, this will help with drying and keeping your sculpture stable. Okay, so I think you guys kind of get it. You can use it, tear off pieces. The only thing is that you don't want it so thin that you can see all the foil through it. And you also don't want to work from the top because then your foil armature is just going to go wah, 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 and fall down. So again, work from the bottom up. Try to make it as even thickness as possible around so it'll be an even dry time. And yeah, right now we're just working on modeling it. Like I said, we'll add the texture and everything else like that once it's dried a little bit. So probably the next time that you guys come to class after you have put all the clay on and modeled it the way you want it to. Okay, so I'm not going to use a bunch of clay to try and finish this up. Some things that I've noticed while I was working, it makes it a lot thicker than I wanted it to be to begin with. So keep that in mind. Also, as you're building, obviously from the bottom up, but when you do stuff on one side, you should probably go ahead and start doing stuff on the other side. Because I noticed when I was building these two, it was starting to lean this way. So that's why I went ahead and started working on building up these down over here. I'm going to show you guys how to clean up now. So basically the first thing you need to do, if you're still modeling, which this one is you're going to need some damp paper towels. Okay. They don't have to be sopping wet. So wring them out after you get them wet. And you're going to go ahead and just kind of drape your project. So that way you can still come back to it and add more clay, more modeling clay. Now, if you went ahead and finished yours, finished the modeling part of it, you don't need to put the paper towels around it, but I do still want you to put a plastic commissary bag around it so it can dry slowly. Any little bits of clay that you have left over, please go ahead and gather them up and put them in your slip. I haven't attached anything to this yet, so there's not really any score, slip, and sealing that I need to do yet. But if you do attach any clay to it, go ahead and score, slip, and seal that. Remember to watch the videos in Google Classroom. I'm going to use this bag just because it's here right now. Then I want you to carefully pick up your object, put it inside the bag, tie it off if you can. If you cannot, go ahead and get another plastic bag and put it on top, which I think I'm going to do with this one. Alrighty, put it on top, and then you're going to take a piece of tape, write your name on it. Now that I put those paper towels on it, it's made it more heavy on this side. That's all right. So you're gonna write your name on it. And you're gonna put it on your plastic bag. And if you wanna be extra sure that you have it on there, that nobody's gonna mistake yours for theirs, you can also, when you put your project up over on the shelves, you can put the wax paper with your name on it underneath as well. Okay, so where do you actually put them? I'm gonna leave mine here, but you guys are gonna put them over here. A2 should be in this area. A4 should be in this area. And then B2 should be over here. Okay, as you guys see, people have already gone ahead and started doing this. This is where your wire and your tools are. The wax paper and foil, I'm actually gonna go ahead and put it where it belongs. And that's gonna be over here by the clay sink. The clay sink, this is where you guys wash your supplies. This front drawer, top drawer, is the one with the wax paper and the foil. This drawer has some plastic baggies. This is where you wash your supplies. They have clay traps underneath them. Inside here, this is where you're gonna find your clay. There's the clay. There's the slip. Wait, where is it? There's the slip. The commissary bags. Rolling pins. All right. So that's where you put your stuff. Sorry for the quality of the video. I will see you guys later. Be good for the sub.